Yes, people. No more technical difficulties. I am back on StreamYard. Yes, I've conceded the loss to OBS. There was no way that I was dealing with that again. So no more technical difficulties. We are back to flawless streams. But big up to everybody that has joined us for this live. I'm just waiting for Eunice to join us at the moment. So I'm just gonna go through a lot of you lots in the chat. Mixed the Minerals, Medina, big up yourself. Bare questions there in the chat. I'll get through them. Let me just give everyone their shout outs. Sunday Alike, big up yourself. The Joker 26, big up yourself. Jack Henry, Harad, big up yourself. G Man, big up yourself. We're here, fam. We're here. Mal, big up yourself. The Ghost, big up yourself. But good time to be a Chelsea fan, people. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not going to lie. It's a great time to be a Chelsea fan. We are absolutely doing bits in the transfer window. To those that are wondering, where's Eunice? He will be here shortly. He will be here in a minute. So let's just give him a few minutes to join us. Hold on. Let's give him a few minutes. Some more of you giving the shout outs as well. Kingmo, big up yourself. Feigl, big up yourself. Spider, big up yourself. The GOAT, Chelsea Fan Zone. Kwashai, big up yourself. Big up everyone. Romeo Lavia next. Olise next. What are we saying? Like, how are we feeling about these two signings? Me personally, I'm not going to lie. I'm quite excited. I think they're both going to be very good additions to the squad. To have Lavia as backup for Caicedo. A lot of you lot know, like those who have been subscribed to this channel for a while have known that I've been wanting Romeo Lavia at the club. So I'm very excited to have the player at Chelsea finally. Almost went Chelsea. I mean, almost went Liverpool. My bad. Almost went Liverpool. But we did just enough to get it over the line. And credit does have to go to Joe Shields, 100%. Big up to those that are waiting. Eunice should be here momentarily. I didn't want to keep you waiting, so I thought, you know what? You're stuck with me now. But minus the technical hitches, people, we are back. You get me? We're going to be running proper. I decided I conceded to StreamYard, like I said at the beginning of the stream. But yeah, Chelsea Fan Zone, you're right. I've wanted Olise for a couple of seasons now. It's a move that just made sense. It's a move that made a lot of sense. Obviously, we'll go into the details as to why, but it's a move that definitely made sense for me. But even Romeo Lavia, you've known those that have followed the channels. I've been crying out for DM for time, and look, I didn't get one. I got two that can do that role. That's excellent news. Enzo Fernandez looking excited, man. My opinion on Madueke. Faisal, apologies for not answering your question properly. Just throw it in here again in the previous stream. And big up to all of you that came from Husam's stream, myself, Husam, and Matisse. We've done a live stream, so make sure you check that out after this live stream as well. Show my brother over there some love. But my opinion on Madueke, well, he's a Chelsea player, 100%. I'm going to back him. There's definitely some talent in there. I mean, this small, sample size we've seen of him. He's looked all right. He hasn't come in and absolutely stunk the place out. He's actually been quite, one of the few positives, in my honest opinion. And I think he definitely deserves his chance. You never know. With Pochettino as well, he is also a young player. He could blossom into a very good player. And I'm willing to give him that chance. But it's looking exciting, man. The options around the field, they're looking a lot more exciting. I want to take you back to like this time last year. I asked Matisse this question, Chelsea fans. Today is August the 16th, 2023. Let's rewind back 365 days from now to 2022, August the 16th. Very, very different position. Reece James gets injured. Remember what we used to say? Season's over. You get me? So like now, if Reece James does get injured, then the next option is Malo Gusto, who I felt really, I feel good about that. Our midfield option, Kante was always injured. We never got to see him, unfortunately. Kovacic did suffer from injuries as well, unfortunately. Jorginho, Loftus Cheek. We just knew that the midfield needed a massive revamp. Yeah, here we are. We finally done it. We finally done it. Big up to all of you lot joining. Eunice should be joining us here shortly. I know he is running a bit late. He sends his apologies. Derek, yeah, that's right. A lot of us did feel down and out. We couldn't see where our next piece of silverware was going to be coming from. And in a very short space of time, we got to be honest, in a short space of time, you know, we've really been aggressive in the transfer market, you know, to the detriment of other clubs, Liverpool especially. Man, imagine feeling like a Liverpool fan right now. Listen, but I couldn't care less. I honestly could not care less because we've got the players that we need. We look like we've got an exciting striker, a striker that many of us didn't know about. I remember I was singing songs about this guy. You get me? I didn't know who this guy was, Nicholas Jackson, and he's come in and he looks very, very impressive. Yes, he didn't score in the last game, but for me, I thought he was brilliant. I thought he looked good. He showed how multifaceted he is as a striker. Ran the channels well. You know, was able to take on players. You know, if it was a Kai Havertz, I wouldn't really have too much faith in him taking on players like that. But now we've got a player that does look electric, man. That does look like he can link up with the players around him. It's exciting stuff, man. It's definitely a good time to be a Chelsea fan. But I'm looking at Twitter because someone said that Lavia has completed his medical. Let me look in Twitter and see how true that is. Okay, so I don't know. I'm waiting for more like the Romanos and that. Does anybody have a link to Romano or Ornstein for Romeo Lavia completing his medical? Because I am seeing it, but I'm just not seeing it on an account where I'm gonna say, yeah, like with chest it's done. You get me? We got to see that from a Romano or a David Ornstein. I mean, a part of me believes it, you know, because we heard earlier that the medical was due to get done today. So a part of me does believe it. So there could be a huge possibility that it's happened. But I need a little bit more confirmation, you know. I need a little bit more confirmation. I'm not gonna put my neck on the line to do that. You get me? But talk about Lewis Hall. We'll definitely talk about Lewis Hall. We will 100% talk about Lewis Hall. Faisal, thank you for the super chat. No problem, my friend. Of the youth players we bought in this season, Angelo, Santos, Casadei, who would you bring back to the squad if needed? Personally, I thought Angelo had a very good preseason. He was one that, you know, impressed me. Was learning him to Strasbourg, it's a bit harsh, but it's again, we've got a lot of talent in the squad. We can't start everybody. And to be honest, we can't be selfish. You know, he's going to a league on to get some development. He's going to get minutes over there. Hopefully he develops and makes that step up. Because let's have it right. As much as people say League on is a farmers league, it does develop very good players. None of us can deny it. Does develop very, very good players. It is a good league to go to develop as a youth player. We've got to give them at least that respect, 100%. In terms of Santos, I think he's very talented. Obviously, we know that he has stayed at Chelsea. Let's see the chances that he's going to get available to him. I do expect, or I'm suspecting that we're going to see him a lot more in the cup games, in the cup fixtures, where he's going to give himself a chance to show what he can do. You get me? So hopefully Santos does get his chance and impress. But from what I've seen of him, more so at international level, you get me, more so with Brazil. What really struck out for me outside of obviously his footballing ability was his leadership skills. I love that about him. He was able to galvanize the team, and that's something that I've been calling for a lot in this Chelsea squad. He seems very mature, and the players around him seem to respect him. You get me? So I think he's got a bright future as well. Casadei, proofs in the pudding, but I'm giving Eunice a call. Hold on. Let's call Eunice and see where the brother is. Because I know he might be running a little late from coming back from somewhere. But let's see where my man is. But anyway, yeah, he'll be here when he's ready. But Casadei, definitely, I see him as being a big talent. It's hard to say. Out of those three that you've given me there, it's hard to say. But I think given the midfield position, we look good there. I would say Angelo, just based on that. I'd say Angelo. But we're going to talk about Lewis Hall a bit. I think that was definitely something I wanted to talk about. Um, Lewis Hall, him potentially being sold. Now, I was given some new information in the previous stream. Apparently, Lewis Hall does want to leave Chelsea because he doesn't want to play left back anymore. He's aiming to further his career as a central midfielder. To those that do know the player at youth level, he was a central midfielder. That was his natural position. The fact that he was able to come into the squad at 18 years old and perform the way he did out of position just shows like the level of potential this guy has, man. And based on that fact alone, I wouldn't want to lose a player like that. Absolutely not. Fearless, took the occasion on with so much composure. I've never seen him phased in a single game. I haven't. Even when he does make mistakes, he gets his composure together quickly. Very good traits to have as a player, especially as an 18-year-old. Why would I want to lose that? Why would I want to lose that? Versatile as well. He's proved it, you know, and he can legitimately give competition to the other left backs in the squad. But that's also the problem. Even if he does want to play left back, there are three other left backs. Although some of you are going to say, well, Maatsen hasn't been used at all by Pochettino during pre-season as a left back. That is true. It's true. But we can't ignore the fact that the potential of him being used as a left back is still there because naturally that's his position. Played there at Burnley. I also believe he did play there at Coventry, youth level as well. So it's a position that he's also familiar with. So potentially there could be three players that are up, against him for that position. But, in my opinion, I would personally sell. If we were looking at that left back position to replace anybody, I would say Cucurella has to go. Hall stays. I would like Maatsen to stay, and I'd like Chilwell to stay. I know it's three left backs on the books, but I do say that because respectfully to Ben Chilwell, his injury record is a bit rocky with Chelsea. So I think it's a bit too early, a bit too premature to be trusting him to be going for large spurts of the season. I get it. We're not playing European football. It's not as much football, but still, I want to be a little cautious with him. But that's really my stance on Lewis Hall. I wouldn't want to sell him, especially for 30 million. 30 million is absolute peanuts. What are we doing here? For 30 million, that's potentially worse. Do you know what? Let's have it right. That's potentially worse than Crystal Palace selling us Olise for 35. Because what Matisse, big up Matisse, man. This brother speaks so much truth. He knows his football, man. Like, big up Matisse, man. Special shout out to him. But he also said, we gave him a 6+1. The boy showed that he's capable to perform in the Premier League in the small amount of games that he has played in. Why not loan him for this season where he's proved he can probably play week in, week out at another team in the Premier League and do a decent job? Do that, up his value a little bit. And then if you still want to think about selling him on the following summer, because there will be suitors, Newcastle will probably still be interested. Other clubs who've got a decent bit of coin will probably be interested in the player. I think that would be the best way to go. Because if he wants to fight for a central midfield position, hold on. Unfortunately, Eunice isn't going to be able to make it today. He's just dropped me a message, but he does send his apologies to those. Apologies that he's not able to show up. Something did come up, but we do know Eunice has been a real one on this channel, you get me? So we know that it's a genuine thing. But Eunice, you get me? Thanks anyway, man. But we're going to continue the stream. Anyway, but big up to those that are here. Smash the thumbs up button. We're still going to run the stream, you get me? And to those that are just joining us, I was on a stream earlier with Hussam and Matisse, so make sure after the stream you do go and check out This Is Football, where we did have a conversation about Chelsea actually. So I guess we're going to continue a little more in depth from that stream. But with Lewis Hall, if he does want to compete in that central midfield position, we have to be realistic about his options. You get me? We've got to be realistic about his options. And he's got Caicedo in front of him, Lavia in front of him, Enzo Fernandez occupies the midfield position. Obviously, does a different role to the other two, but still. There is Andre Santos as well, who I believe would be preferred ahead in the pecking order in that position. So that's four midfielders that he's got to compete with. Is he going to get the midfield? Is he going to get the game time that he wants and needs at Chelsea if he wants to fight for that position? I very much doubt it. I very much doubt it. So if he's adamant that's the position he wants, then it's probably best to send him out of the club. But on a permanent basis for that cheap, it doesn't make no sense to me. I say loan him, up his value, revise the situation the following summer. So I hope that's enough for on Lewis Hall there. But big up everybody that's joining us. Where is Eunice? Like I said, Eunice unfortunately changed the plan. He wasn't able to make it, but it's calm. We can run this stream on our ones. You get me? I'll definitely be taking in the questions in the chat as well. So you can actually throw in your questions in there. Guni, keep in mind that Lavia and Caicedo for almost 200 million, meaning that we have to sell a few homegrown players. So Matson and Hall might leave. So I expect this. We can't have both things. Sacrifices have to be made. And Joshua, facts. I don't disagree at all with what you're saying. There will be casualties in this. And some of these casualties we are definitely not going to want to lose. And for me, Lewis Hall, as it stands now, is not a Cobham talent that I want to lose. But I completely understand what you're saying. And especially we've been hearing this term being flung around quite a bit, the pure profit. I'm not going to pretend like I'm an accountant and I'm that financially literate to understand the ins and outs of how we're spending this money. But most of you, I'm sure by now, have seen the explanations that have been put out there. There's a decent one from Simon Jordan, apparently, where he does explain the situation and how we are able to spend this money. And apparently we are still in the black, but still we have to balance out the squad. One of the major aims, people, we've got to remember this. One of the major things that we were aiming to do was also to shrink the size of the squad. So we did have to get rid of players. We've spent a lot of money yet again. We've spent a lot of money in January, but with the amortization rules, it's not as much as many rival fans. And the key word here is rival fans are making it out to be. Do you know what I mean? There are relative explanations for this. I mean, you're talking about billionaires who have dealt with finance at the highest level for how many years? I don't know. So I'm sure they know what they're doing. But yeah, no, I have to agree with you. I've got to agree with you, man. Sacrifices do have to be made. Olise is way more proven, but I believe Olise is going to be used, you know, either as a number 10 or a right winger. Did play at Reading. I think Matisse said he was 14 or 16 games, something like that, as a number 10. It did well there. Played at Crystal Palace mainly as a right winger. So the versatility is there. I understand why you say he's a lot more proven. And I don't know, are you talking in relation to the other options that we were looking at in Kudus and Shirky? If so, yes. But would it have been my first choice out of the three? No. Am I disappointed? Absolutely not. I rate Olise, and quite rightly, like somebody said earlier on in the comments, that I've been wanting Olise for Chelsea at 2 or 3 seasons now, but I haven't really been banging on about him coming to the club as much as other players because at the time he wasn't a priority. Now we've addressed what I consider to be the priority. We can now start to look at other areas. So Elise for me, I'd be more than happy with, and especially for that price tag. 35 million. 35 million. Faisal, once again, thanks for the super chat. One thing I don't understand is the hate for Gallagher. Yes, he's not Messi, but he's still trying and developing. He's a 23-year-old. Gallagher, I'll be real. Many of you know I'm not his biggest fan, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and be disrespectful. I get frustrated at the player, hell yes, but I will always respect the effort that he gives for the shirt. But in relation to what we need at Chelsea to be consistently competing at the highest level, do I see him reaching that potential level of, you know, world class or a little bit below that to be part of the squad? In all honesty, I don't. In all honesty, I don't. I see where his uses are. Definitely, I see where his uses are, but options around his natural position, which is that number 10 position, are a lot better than what he is, in my opinion. You know, even if we weren't signing Olise, I think Kudus would be a better option for number 10, because he also, as much as he comes with the attacking threat, he also comes with the work rate as well. He does a shift, off the ball, tries to win the ball back. A very physical player, something like Conor Gallagher, who, by the way, done very, very well in against Liverpool. 100% deserves his props for that. I mean, deputizing in a position that's not natural and in such a big game, especially in the second half, he really pulled up his socks and done well, man. And a lot of Enzo's performance is down to that. So fair play to him, 100%. Fair play to him. Fair play to him. Who would be the backup to Chilwell? Definitely not Cucurella, as we are considering selling him, and Poch has not been impressed, according to reports. Well, if both those players or either one of those players are going, if both those players are going, then yeah, we're gonna have to trust Cucurella by the looks of it. But if one of the two are going, then we could potentially live with it. You know what I mean? But that's on the condition if we keep both of them. But I do want to get onto the situation with Olise and this potential tap up stuff, because I saw bits about it on Twitter. Oh, yeah, I'm on StreamYard. Let me get this up on the screen. So share screen. Yeah, so you lot can see my screen now, I'm assuming. Yeah, boom. So let's look at what's going on with Michael Olise Chelsea. Let's put that in the search. All right, here we go. Ben Jacobs is all right. Not quite Fabrizio or Ornstein, but still somebody whose social media account I stopped to look at. Although Crystal Palace aren't happy with Chelsea's approach to Michael Olise, Chelsea sources insist no rules were broken. Palace have not made an official complaint, but did express tapping up concerns to informally to Chelsea. Obviously, a bit of a typo there, but I get the point. But yeah, everyone's report. Well, he's quoting Ben Jacobs. Yeah, have that, Man City. Fun conversations and all right. So yeah, so it looks, by the looks of it, because it doesn't look like Romano has said anything about it or honestly. Let me actually check. Let me not answer too prematurely. Let me see. Ornstein, who's really been winning the transfer window for me so far. Fabrizio, Fabrizio's Fabrizio, but you can see that he's milking it a bit because of this new revenue thing. Fair play to him. You get me, get your money and all that. But Ornstein is doing it a little classy. He's just putting it out there when he knows. You get me? Yeah, that Ornstein dagger, which we survived, by the way. But I've not really seen anything that's too threatening to this transfer, people. I haven't really seen anything that's overly threatening to this transfer. I think we're just going to get this over the line. Whoops, let me get this video. Let me mute that. Yeah, so I haven't really seen anything that's too threatening. So, yeah, me. Poch plays his 4-2-3-1 with Enzo playing the number 10. He's not a number 10. He's a deep line playmaker, if I'm honest with you. We keep him exactly where he is. We just give him his partner, which Caicedo, Lavia, you pick whichever one it is, and you let him do the number 8 role. And also this is the thing, like he can still operate in and around that area because we know Enzo's got that in his locker. So he will be around that area, but I think primarily his job needs to be that deep line playmaker because he's brilliant at it. Just go back and watch games for him when he was at Benfica, when he had Fiorentino Luis next to him. Different player. So I don't see him playing the number 10. And also as well, I think Olise has been signed to play there, potentially right wing as well. But we've got several number 10 options that I would rather explore than play Enzo there. Enzo's nailed on in that position for me. Let me know what you guys think as well in the chat, whether you think that should be Enzo Fernandez's position. Should he stay where he is as a central midfielder? Or do you agree with Simeon? Big up. Oh, thank you for the super chat as well, Simeon. Do you agree we should experiment with him as a number 10? Big up everybody that's in the chat, and give the video a thumbs up. Also, subscribe if you are new. Once again, apologies, Eunice wasn't able to make it today. Very, very, he's done a lot for the channel actually. So I'll always be grateful for Eunice. Very good friend. So, He does send his apologies to the people that were expecting him to come on. Apologies for that, but we'll definitely see Eunice again here on the channel. But we are going to keep this going. I've got no reason to stop. I'm enjoying interacting with you guys, and just, we'll keep the questions coming. I will also try and stay on topic. We've just spoken about Michael Olise. Let's get into some Romeo Lavia news as well. Little rumors floating about that he had finished his medical. Let's see if we've got any update on that. Look, so Chelsea, some of these, I'm looking for more of the officialist sources. No disrespect, you've all got to start somewhere. I don't really look at account numbers and size. Everyone starts from somewhere, but we do have to go with a reputable one. So Pice has retweeted something here. Well, he's reposted something here from The Athletic. Romeo Lavia will almost certainly be on a lower wage at Chelsea as he begins his career at Stamford Bridge. Then James Ward-Prowse is on at West Ham. So I did see in the chat previously, if anyone can just let me know in the chat, that he was earning less than 100K a week. Brilliant bit of business, considering all the wages that we got off the book as well, because we had some pretty high earners at Chelsea before this clear out. So we're doing well. We're doing really well to be at least on the wages side, trying to be cost efficient. I can't say the same about the transfer fees, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not complaining. Here's another one I say, the medical's complete. But yeah, this is what I saw. I've seen several of these. Big up Simon Phillips as well. Romeo Lavia has started his Chelsea medical ahead of his move from Southampton. Quoting Sky Sports there. Lavia. So it's all pointing to basically him joining the club, man, very soon. We're expecting that announcement. If we're lucky tonight, I would expect something tomorrow. But huge W for Chelsea nonetheless, man. To get a player like Romeo Lavia, I've been a massive, massive fan of his for a very, very long time. But we'll have a look at what the reports are saying, because I was freestyling a bit off the dome on my thoughts on Lewis Hall. But let's have a look at what the reports are saying. Oh, get out of the way. Whoops. Big up Lewis, though. Well, immediately it shows that the fans were not too happy about him being sold. Oh, Chelsea put Lewis Hall up for sale, seeking for. I think they've shot themselves in the foot here. This is a massive shame. This is a massive, massive shame, people. We could have earned so much more from the player, respectfully, but 30 million is peanuts, and why would you sell for so cheap? Why would you do that? He's got 7 years left on his contract as well. We're fully in control of this transfer. Why would we do this? At least, anyway, is what it is, man. Chelsea seek 30 million for the youth product with just 12 appearances amid Newcastle interest. There you go. He's going to be sold. But it's like Joshua said earlier, there must be casualties, and unfortunately he is one. But I think we're making a huge loss here, where we're potentially, because even by the end of next season we could have commanded at least double for him. Who knows, in 2 seasons could be a 60 million pound player. We've shafted ourselves, but maybe we'll insert a release clause, a sell-on clause, whatever, something. Hopefully we can recoup a little bit more somewhere down the line, but that for me is dirt cheap. English player as well, man. There's no English tax on this. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Sell Hall and Cucurella, keep Maatsen, even Colwell can play left back. G-man, big up yourself, man. Still need a striker. If Jackson gets injured, then we are light. Not sure we can rely on Broya as cover, or we wait for Tony. Let's talk about the striker situation a little bit, actually. I'm happy to go with Jackson to be our main striker, per se, to be leading the line. I think from what we've seen from him, he's been good. He's been very, very good so far. He's impressed. I'm not going to get overly invested just yet. I still need him to win me over. I can't just blind faith You know what I mean? I've seen a couple good performances. I need to see it consistently in the Premier League now. You know what I mean? But the club do want to see if Broja is going to be fit enough to play. Also, I think Nkunku's injury and him being out for so long threw a spanner in the works. I'll be honest, because I do think Chelsea were perhaps ready to maybe wait till January, like you're saying here, wait for Tony. Maybe wait till January to explore the market again, because as of now, we know Chelsea are not interested in Vlahovic for several reasons. One of those reasons being his reoccurring groin injury. I believe it's called pubalgia or something like that. Chelsea are worried about that because he does seem to have that issue. So I don't think we should be signing a player who's got injury worries like that. We have been that club to be harboring injury prone players for the longest. We've still got one or two at the club. Let's not restock on those, man. If that's the case, let's move away from it. Outside of him, there's not really much that's realistically available right now, unless you want like a very solid competent backup, as Matisse likes to put it. But if you want that kind of striker, then you're looking at players like your Mediterraneans, who I think is decent. I think he's decent, and I think could do a decent job for us in that role. You know, he is on the more experienced side of the spectrum. I believe he's about 30, 31. To those that don't know who Mediterranean is, think about our fixture against Porto when he scored. I will say meaningless, but he did score that ridiculous overhead kick. That is Mediterranean. I think he's got a very good eye for goal. But it remains to be seen as to whether Chelsea will do that. But you never know with this club. 2 weeks left of the transfer window being open. And, you know, some transfers we do have a bit of a clue of who we might be getting and some we don't. The way Chelsea operate is crazy. Tomorrow we could wake up, Chelsea have signed so and so here or there, or whatever position. You never know. That's just how we operate. Jason Rice says, F all the salty rivals. I fully agree. I fully agree. We've taken mad stick from them. And you know why I'm fully with this movement is because when it looked like we were quote unquote going into administration, which we knew that wasn't going to happen, and we looked like we were a finished club, these clubs were absolutely loving it. They were loving it. So let them be salty and let us drink their tears, my friend. Yeah, there's no need to feel sorry for them. You get me? People say Lavia went for the money. Well, that squashes that. Liverpool have been telling porkies left, right, and center. They've been lying left, right, and center. Let's see what they've been saying about Romeo Lavia, because last I checked, yeah, they were saying that they weren't even in for him. They didn't make a bid. So let's see what they say. What did they say? So James Pearce, Liverpool transfer rumors quoted, has said Liverpool were willing to match Chelsea's offer of 53 plus 5 in add-ons, but Romeo Lavia made the decision to join the London side. So there is more proof of rejection there. Drink those minerals in, as Johnny Minerals would say. Big up Johnny Minerals. Lewis Hall, 40 million, 40% sell on, buyback after 2 years. Would you not say that's fair? Well, I don't think we're going to get 40 million for him if we're looking in a world of realism. If he's been quoted 30 million, I don't see why a club is going to willingly pay an extra 10 million. So 30 million, 40% sell on clause, I highly doubt. We're absolutely pissing in the wind if we think we're going to get that for Lewis Hall. We'd be lucky to even get, I don't know, 10, 15%, because sell on clauses, especially with sort of like the bigger teams, they're hard to come by. You know what I mean? With the Caicedo one, a bit of an exception to the rule, we're sort of shafted into that position. Do you get me? So I don't see that happening too much going down the line. Buyback after 2 years. The buyback option I can see being a potential. That can be an option. I hope we do explore that, and we do make sure we have that in the contract. But for 30 million buyback, if a respectable fee can be negotiated at a buyback rate, then I would say it's not as bad as it looks. So let's say, for example, they sign him for 20 million. He develops into a really good player, and they say, look, we want 45 million for the player. If you decide to go in for the buyback, I'm all for that. Then it's not as bad as what it looks. Big up David Miles. Listen to David, smash the like button, people. Let's get the thumbs up in. Once again, apologize to those of you that are joining. Apologies to those of you that are joining. Eunice has not been able to make it. He had to change his plans last minute, but we'll definitely get Eunice back on the stream at some point. So, yeah, man, apologies for that. He does send his apologies as well. So, tall guy, big up yourself. Where do you see Chelsea finishing this season? Top 4, surely. Good question. And my favorite answer to this is I do not like to answer this question until the transfer window is closed, because not just Chelsea, we get to see the other 19 teams, how their squads are in standing. So far, we have done the best job in the transfer market, 100%. I'm sure most of you agree in this chat. We have done excellent in the transfer market in terms of bringing in the targets that we brought in and are yet to be bringing in at Chelsea, who, fingers crossed, we should be getting through the door. Michael Olise, Romeo Lavia, just got Caicedo in through the door. And potentially we could be getting another goalkeeper in through the door. Let's not forget about that. But it's impossible to say. It's impossible to say. It's impossible to know where Chelsea are going to be moving in the transfer window in terms of what players and what opportunities arise. It's a very, very volatile time. It's a volatile market, the transfer window. Anything can happen like this. We've proven to be a team where, you know, things come out of nowhere. So it's very difficult to say. Very, very difficult to say. Yeah, look, another signing here, David Washington as well. Good point. Don't know too much about the player, to be honest with you. Just know he's Brazilian. It looks to me from the YouTube clips. I hate quoting YouTube clips because it's just such an unrealistic view on the player. I mean, you get to see some things, some fundamentals like, you know, touch and things like that here and there, but he looks more like a number 10 for me. I don't know. Let me know. To those of you that have watched a little bit of him in the comments, whether it be YouTube or whatever, the compilations that I saw of him, he looks more natural in a number 10. But let's see how he develops. I don't think he'll be staying at Chelsea. I think he'll be at least loaned to Strasbourg or whatever. Let's see the direction we go with that. We have Broya, Datro. Datro, that's a good point. That's a very good point. We can't forget about Datro as a potential striker option because he is on loan at Union Berlin. Did look good in their preseason. I haven't followed them since. I don't know if they've played since, to be honest with you. I've just been too embroiled in the Chelsea news, as most of you have been, since we have been absolutely dominating the market and the headlines, as you know. So, but from what I saw of him, he does look very, very promising, and that's an option that we can't rule out. And Chelsea themselves know that. So don't even be surprised, people, if we don't go for Ivan Toney in January. The club might turn around and just say, you know, we've got faith in Dacho. He's been scoring goals over there at the Bundesliga at a healthy rate. You know, you never know. You never know. We can't count him out. And I do wish him the best. I do hope that he does go out there and prove a point and give Pochettino and the recruitment team something to think about, man. It's always good to see young players come up and do well. But he definitely does look like a talent. 100% does look like a talent. Todd Miller, thank you very much for the super chat. My hopes are for Guni to repeat this statement weekly. Another clean sheet, another 3 points on to the next match. I've missed that, man. Always up the Chelsea. Pick up yourself, Todd Miller. Missed a lot of you as well, man. It's good to see the regulars back as well in the chat. I have missed doing this. Unfortunately, I've had responsibilities outside of streaming that I've had to take care of. You know, things like work. My work routine has been mad. I've been doing things like double shifts quite a bit where I've been needed. So that's why I haven't really been heavy on the streaming for the past month, nearly 2 months actually. But, you know, as you can see where I'm getting the time, I'm definitely making the effort. So it's good to be back. Good to be back. Gabriel he says goals is still an issue, even with our new signings and Olise, who is prolific enough. Now, I think what we're going to see from this Chelsea team, and I feel like I'm stating the obvious a bit, so to those that feel that I am, I apologize, but I think the goals are going to be spread out a lot more. I think the aim long-term potentially might be to find that attacking dynamic where it's similar to Liverpool, where when they had Mane, Fabinho and Salah, they were able to sort of share the goals. between them. Well, it's Fabinho obviously being a false nine and really facilitating and bringing those two into play quite a bit. But I think potentially we might be able to see that because let's have it right. From a tactical perspective, Jackson does look rounded enough to do a similar to Fabinho job. Not saying that I'd want him to see him do a Fabinho job. I want him to go out there and get goals. I want him to be ruthless. I want him to be, a goal scorer that gets 25 plus a season in the Premier League, because that means we're going to be either winning the league or very close to it, or I should be expecting if we've got a striker that can do that. So yeah, it's too soon to say with Jackson. I think some of us are writing him off a little bit too early before we've really seen him play. So I think it's too soon to come to that conclusion with Jackson. Let's give him a chance. He's impressed so far. Let's see him add some more goals to his game in the Premier League and in the domestic competitions. 100%. Big up to everybody that's in the chat. Make sure you do smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. How rad? I'm Iranian. And I don't rate Taremi. Just not. No, I think he's good. I honestly think he's a good striker. But am I saying for him to be our out and out number one striker? No. To play more of a secondary quote unquote backup role. Do you know what I mean? Because listen, Jackson gets injured. We need somebody who knows where the back of the net is as well. And Nkunku, look, Nkunku, I agree. He's out till January. I'm more of the option of, I'm more in the camp of, listen, we just wait it out. And Nkunku does come back in January. He's got goals to his game. He's as prolific as any top striker there is out there, although he's not a natural number 9, but he can finish. His numbers don't lie. Do you know what I mean? And we are gifted to have him. But unfortunately, he is injured right now. So it would be a shame to discard that option. And I think, like I said earlier, that might be a bit of a spanner in the works for Chelsea. They're probably exploring to use him at times as the focal point in the attack. But we'll have to see what happens. News about Michael Olise. Nope, we haven't seen anything just yet. All I'm seeing is Liverpool fans being given some hope yet again on another player. The problem is with this source that's reported it. It's not the best source. It's not one of your quote unquote top tiers. So who knows? But if they do sign him, good signing for Liverpool. And United fans should be gutted. They're all reporting it now. Hopefully they explore that option, but I highly doubt that. Wow, that's crazy. Did not expect to see that. Will not be opening any more tweets. That is mad. Apologies to the peoples that had to see that. Was not expecting that picture to pop up on the screen. Got to get that off the screen as well. In fact, it's probably just better to let's just allow the whole Twitter thing for now. Mad thing. But United needed him. United definitely need him. It's not too late. But apparently with United, they need to sell players first. Now, let me ask you guys. We're going to come to this before we end the stream, G-Man. That's a good question. Let me ask you guys. There is the conversation that has reared its head. Where does Chelsea's midfield rank in the Premier League? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hold on, let me answer this. I'm on a live stream. I'm on another live stream. I'm going to call you back soon, yeah? Let me know where you think our midfield rank, because I think it would be disingenuous to say that we're better than Man City at the moment. Yeah, man, I think Man City, they've just come off the back of a treble. Unfortunately for them, Kevin De Bruyne is injured. Assuming second to Man City. I mean, when you look at the midfields around Manchester City, we're definitely up there. I wouldn't necessarily disagree. Arsenal fans might have something to say. They may have something to say. And to be fair, they did perform. They were very solid. They finished second. Although they did bottle it, they still finished second. Very good position. Best season they've had in a while, actually. But arguably, they didn't win anything. But best Premier League season they've had in a while anyway. So, it is what it is. But let's talk about expectations before we come to the end of the stream. I will be going live on Dan Potts' channel, the 12th Man podcast. So make sure you do check that out. That will be at 10 o'clock p.m. UK time, 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time over here in New York and on the East Coast. So make sure you do go and check that. But just to conclude the stream, we're going to talk about the top 5 expectations for G-Man. In the previous stream, I did say I would like for us to bare minimum finish third. Third would be a very good place to finish for me. Well, actually, let me be real. The real me wants to win everything. That is my heart, but my head says third would be a decent finish of all things considered. 1 or 2 domestic trophies as well would be a success for me. You get me? So, yeah, third would be good, but from there, I would like to see us kick on and potentially challenging for Premier League trophies down the line. But third, bare minimum, absolute bare minimum, bare minimum. And yeah, once again, the expectations might change. They might go even higher after the transfer windows closed. Sorry, you never know who we're going to bring to the club. But third, definitely 2 domestic trophies. One of them definitely being the FA Cup. We definitely need to bring that home again. And the Camera Booty Cup, you get me, as people call it. I don't care. Winning brings confidence. One of the first trophies, the first trophy we won in our spell of dominance under Roman Abramovich when he freshly joined Chelsea Football Club. It was the Carling Cup. And if you heard what the players actually said about winning the cup, they said, listen, we we got so much confidence from it. We got a taste of winning and we didn't want to stop. So fair play to the players. They went on and achieved incredible things, and hopefully we can mirror the same with this squad. But people, I am done with this stream. Once again, sorry to those that were expecting Eunice to join. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it, but I did hold it down for a little bit. Make sure you give the stream a thumbs up before you do go. Subscribe if you are new as well. Should be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow with Lee Gunner. That will be a very interesting one. I'm going to talk about Arsenal as well. And we ain't spoke to Lee Gunner for a little while, so it should be a good watch. Make sure you do stay tuned for the channel and you do subscribe. Once again, 12th Man podcast, 10 o'clock p.m. UK time, 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you are there. Myself, Dan Potts, and several other guests will be present. But until then, bless up, people. Gareth Southgate out.